health is what I'm all about. This is what I've committed my life to personally, as well as all the businesses that I'm in, all have to do with how do we help people really live healthy lives? You've got to get rid of sugars and you got to get rid of grains. It's pretty simple. That's it. Okay? And now you got to ask yourself why. Well, sugar goes down and feeds the wrong bacteria in our gut. Okay? And it also goes rapidly into our bloodstream and causes these fluctuations in our blood sugar levels. But what happens with the grains? The grains are much more insidious, and you've probably all heard of leaky gut. And if you haven't, it's not your gut leaks out on the ground. Okay, there's none down there. Okay, I'm doing okay. Okay. It really has to do with the gut has a single cell lining that lines your whole intestinal tract. Okay, and if that breaks down, which it does, and it's not tight together like this, a leaky gut is where it breaks down and it opens up like this. And when that happens, we're designed to be like this, and those cells take in amino acids and minerals and things and transport it directly into the bloodstream. When we have a leaky gut, it also allows things like peptides, which are a cluster of amino acids that go directly from our intestine into our bloodstream. And peptides are bad. You don't want peptides because they're perceived and seen by the body as a foreign body. And what do we see when we have foreign bodies? What happens when we get flu or we get anything else? It's a foreign body, right? And our system attacks, okay? And so we have this attack going on. And so we have now these peptides that have gone through, and sometimes they're complete proteins, by the way, go through, get into our bloodstream, and are free to circulate anywhere in our body. Our body pulls out the big guns called antibodies and starts shooting at these things and goes bam, 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 bam. The problem is that it's not specific. It won't just wipe out and take out the peptide. It also takes out tissue that has any inflammation going on in it, because that's where they go. So we have this thing that not only wipes out our brain, but also causes things like arthritis. And there's a whole list of what they've now determined are really autoimmune kinds of diseases from this very attack, because these peptides that are going in to our bloodstream are causing this antibody response in our body. Wow, is right. And so what happens? Why does that work? When we take wheat, for example, wheat is one that we were not designed to eat. It takes a cow to digest wheat, and we don't have a digestive system that breaks wheat all the way down. It only breaks it down to peptides, okay? But it also supports the wrong bacteria in our gut. So now we have the wrong bacteria. The bacteria breaks down the membrane. Sugar also feeds that wrong bacteria in our membrane, in our intestinal lining, that membrane of the lining there. And so it opens up the gut and lets it go through. We cannot digest wheat. We just don't do it. It's also barley and rye and corn. Most people can do corn. But if you're starting out on this, you really got to eliminate all the grains. And they're basically all the whites, okay? Yeah. And don't think just because you have brown rice, you're okay. It's not, especially when you're starting. You can probably add eventually a little bit of corn to your diet. It's probably not going to wipe you out. I do eat corn chips once in a while, but it's very rare. I do not have a leaky gut. I don't have any of the problems associated with leaky gut. And you hear about these from people where they have colitis and they have all sorts of these gut kind of issues. And you can actually, most of the time you can heal them up before they really become bad, and you end up with ulcerative kinds of things. You end up with things that just don't heal down in the gut, and you can get rid of it, okay? So what we do is we say, okay, we're just gonna eliminate all the sugars and all the whites, all the grains out of our diet. And you go, oh my gosh, is there anything left to eat? Right. And the answer is there's so much awesome stuff to eat, because we have now figured that out. So my wife makes awesome cookies. Okay, they're to die for. She makes two different ones, and they have really super dark chocolate, which is okay because there's hardly any sugar in it, a little tiny bit. And she makes it with almond flour, not wheat. So nuts are perfectly fine. Nuts break down, we can absorb them into our system. They're not a problem unless you're allergic to nuts, of course.
Right.
Okay, but nuts are great. And there's so much stuff out there that's now got, almond flour. She uses coconut flour. She doesn't use any sugar at all. She sweetens with stevia if she wants to, and I don't even like that very well, so we don't use much of that. And that's what we have. So I brought some samples here. Here's some, for example, this is Costco, and this is an almond cracker. Wow. And if you like crackers and you like dips, she mixes her own almond dip. You can buy, just regular salsa is fine in this diet. You just got to read the label,
right.
On salsa's work and things. But this is a great cracker. Tastes awesome. You want to have dessert? This is at Costco too. I don't know if I'm a Costco promoter here necessarily, but this is keto bars. Wow. Okay. Now this does have dairy in it, so some people need to eliminate dairy, but this has no sugar, nothing that you'd find in ice cream. Okay, and they taste awesome. Okay, dark chocolate over the cover, and you eat candy bars ice cream bars, and they taste awesome. I can buy off any grandkid with these, and they love it.